This is gonna be the first episode of building a finger bike race line down this rock wall that is here. So my plan is to have the bike start up here and then jump off this into a landing here. And originally I thought to just have a smaller rock garden and then another takeoff into here, but I think I'm actually gonna do a rock garden through here and then have like kind of like a bump, kind of like mini drop into like a sort of bomb hole into a really smooth landing that'll set it off. And then in the next episodes, we'll work on building the other parts. I think we'll try to get most of this done. I might finish the rock garden in another episode. So for this project, I'm gonna use this mulch we got as a base layer. So I've just got like a half trash can full here. I don't think I'm gonna use it all. I'll spread this around the garden after, but I think this will be helpful in making just like a quick base layer. It's a little dry, so it might need a little bit of water, but it should make it a little faster. And then I also will use the dirt over here along with some of the remnants of the original creative finger bike park, which was not looking so good, but yeah, I'll use that for probably a top layer on the more firm stuff because it packs down really nice and looks really good. So the plan is to use these boxes so that I can move it in and out of the garage so that it doesn't need a lot of maintenance, and I can use some techniques that like can't get wet. So it'll have like some features where I just cover cardboard in like popsicle sticks to make wooden features that are nice and bent without having to like bend wood and stuff to make it stronger. It should be a little faster, or like 3D print something. So that's the goal with this. So I'll start working on it. So here I use the nice stamped dirt to try to create a really smooth, hard layer that packs really easily to give it really nice shaping. So I'm going to use these rocks to sort of guide the rider in after they come off the drop up here. They'll land into here and be forced to kind of move in between the rocks, because if they hit the rocks, it'll be like pretty much an instant crash. So it'll push them through this technical section, which I'll make using some smaller rocks and stuff to make a section that will test the suspension and force some line choice to be done, which will slow down the rider with a finger bike, because jumps are pretty easy with finger bikes. So this will hopefully make it so it's like a little slower and will slow down like the pace of the whole course. Alright, so this is the point I got it at, which I think is pretty good. It offers kind of one main line, which is you kind of follow it down here and sneak out here. And then there's lots of ways where if you don't go in just right, say you hit this one too hard, you can, like with this one on the side, you can kind of bump out, or you can hit like your peg there and kind of be over here, which won't lead well into the next thing, which will cause you to lose some time. Or hitting like this one, which there is kind of a line where you can like go through here, but it's really easy to accidentally hit your like pedals or something and then like kind of go sideways. And then if you go straight off this, you will just go over the bars. And then it has a lot of like suspension travel and stuff, so it looks pretty cool when as someone were to go through here. Like, it's not super easy, which is something I was kind of aiming for, was to make this kind of one of the more technical features that you had to like focus on, pick an actual line, otherwise it wouldn't flow very well. Now I'm going to work on shaping this lip at the end, which is kind of just go pretty flat out, and I think I'm just probably gonna end with that today, and I'll work on it some other days to get it, but it's kind of just covered in like brushes and stuff, so I'm gonna get some of the really nice dirt and I'm just gonna make a really nice smooth landing that I can then, or take off, that I can then eventually merge into making this one also really good. So here's what I got. It's pretty firm and just a nice little hard pack thing that will hold up to some tire marks. So the plot will be you hop off here, land into here, go through the rock garden, and then it'll be some kind of like probably wooden little feature that just drops you into here, which will be a little like bomb hole to send you out flying that way. So I think my plan with this section is actually going to be to try to build a sort of, because it's really easy to, when you're finger biking, just gain ridiculous speed on jumps and flat stuff, which is why I don't think many races that people would try to make would work out. So I'm trying to make features that are speed limiting. so that you have to go slow. You have to think about it. You can't just run beside it and just go as fast as you can, blow through it, because that'll just be a sprint, not a finger bike race. So the goal is to have it jump off here, go through the rock garden. And I thought I was going to do a pretty long gap jump here. But my idea is actually to make it smaller, because that will focus people to actually limit their speed, not just like go flying off and then coming down, because that will lose points with a judge, because there will be a judge when we do this. It'll kind of make it so that it's not unfair. So my plan is to make a landing that pretty much is immediately just a berm that just jumps really sharply into another berm that's actually a like shark fin kind of jump that will then go into another section. So I think probably having 3 or maybe 4 sections, maybe 1 long one or probably 2 shorter ones, and is what's going to end up happening. Along here, we'll make a pretty like good course. Probably times will probably be pretty short, but like still easily able to be like measured and competed against, and I think it'll be pretty fun. So it's going to come through here, and I'm going to work on making this just a landing that goes into a berm into like a shark fin. So I really like how this came out. Essentially, if you look down here, you can see it better. You'll come off here, pump down into here, and you have to just come off this one, and then come out of here, and it'll probably land. It'd be a good spot for, I think we're going to do it so that like certain tricks earn you certain points. So if you do harder tricks, you'll take, say, up to like 3 seconds off, but if you do easy tricks, you can just get like a second off. But it's probably not going to be that big of margins. That would be like insane probably. But like it flows pretty well. The durability is not great, so I might have to think of other ways, maybe adding like a cardboard sheet under here that carries the shape, just because of like the fact the sides move as well, and the fact this bike's front tire is just really thin. It's one of the older style ones, so it ends up grooving up, but it's pretty quick to fix it. You just kind of press it down a little. So I'm gonna end off today like this, and I'll keep working on it tomorrow. Alright, so it's the next day, and I just pulled the tarps off, and honestly, this stuff looks terrible. A lot of it is dried out really badly since last night. It just become very bad, especially this one. So what I did for this one was I just got some more dirt, put it on, and wet it a little to try to get it to be a little more, to like harden up again, because it was like all cracked and looked really bad. And I also made this, which is going to be the next section. And if you remember from some of my previous videos, I had this as almost like a little suspension test thing. And so my plan is to have off of this shark fin jump, you land into here. Probably takes the first 2 of these, so I'll probably have this like end the landing. You hit 3 bumps, and then it'll be a takeoff into a more slope style jump. So I'm gonna like make it steeper. I'm gonna break it pretty much all out of the really nice dirt, I think, because that does a much better job of not like kind of springing, getting out of shape. I might also actually increase the size of this rock garden to like here, and then pull these just closer together, because I think the rock garden's a little small and it's pretty easy, so I want to make it a little bit more difficult. So yeah. Just finished this section, I think, which it doesn't really look that good right now. I pretty much just made a very small landing into here, and then just kind of put some mulch on it, because I didn't want to make it so that you couldn't even feel the bumps with the bike. And then I ended up not going for a super slope style jump. I might change that in the future, but I think at this time, what's the line's going to end, this second someone's front wheel passes, like touches the cement off this little like rock landing, which I probably won't keep either, but as of right now, that's the end of this. And then I also added some more stuff onto this to make this a little better, and then added a little bit of a lip here just so it makes you go up a little bit more off there. So I think I'm going to try to do a run, just holding the camera on one hand and riding the other hand, and then I'll show the time at the end after I finish that. So through this run, I can see I come off this pretty deep. Then my suspension compresses well through the rock garden. I come through these two berms. I don't really turn that much. And I actually almost lost it through these bumps. It was actually quite difficult to make it through these bumps.